What up, you lab rats? This is episode number 126, and today we're going to talk about feeling like you're giving everything, and when do I ask for business? Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to the lab, your daily inspiration for creating better content. All right, it is Throwback Thursday, my lab rats, and let's throw it all the way back. Let's throw it back to when we first acquired this studio space where we're holding our workshop on June 6th. With Kevin and I, we now share this with this space with Nathan Nowak Photography, a good friend of ours, and Alumic. Alumic. They're just called Alumic. They're a videography company, good friends of ours as well. And man, that was 3 years ago, and we were just trying to figure out who we were. Kevin was slowly very much establishing himself, feeling very, very confident about Kevin Levu photography and where that was going. I, on the other hand, was like, I need to stop shooting. I need to stop shooting, one, because my back freaking hurts. And it's not my passion. It's not my passion. 3 years ago, I was very, very lost, very bitter, even though I look happy in this photo. It was a facade. And I'm so happy that I have a partner who was patient enough to work with me through that sort of transition of not shooting and doing this, what I do now, which is creating content full time and marketing and writing and blogging and, doing this thing in the back end for my company and his company. So it's a good look back. And I'm very, very thankful and grateful. Anyway, let's get into today's episode. So, keeping in line with the masterminding theme of this week, given that I was at my first podcaster mastermind meetup a couple weeks ago, and this kind of came up in the group, and I forget who brought it up, but it was like somebody was saying, I feel like I'm giving everything. I feel like I've given so much already. When is it my turn to like ask for business and ask for money and start making money and start being like Lewis Howes? And I was like, you know what? I know that's not the way that you meant to ask that or state it, because obviously right off the bat, it could sound like it's too much of a grab. It's too much of a hard sell. At the same time, I totally sympathize with that, because just the other night, Kevin and I, we were sitting up talking, and he said, it's hard, huh? It's hard what you're doing. And I said, yes, it is hard. And at the same time, I said, but it's hard for a reason. Like most things, anything worth doing, anything that you feel accomplished for doing, and you feel a sense of like fear and tension and like heart-wrenching pain, but you get it, you receive it, that then it makes it worth it, right? So if it wasn't hard, if it wasn't scary, if it wasn't super uncomfortable all the time and uncertain and very insecure, then the goal that you have for yourself wouldn't be as sweet. It wouldn't be as sweet. So I said it to myself and to him, yeah, it's hard for a reason. And I'm giving all of this stuff up front, like creating content every day and pricing the workshop very, very low and just giving of myself all the time. And yeah, that's exhausting. One, because it's just an exhausting thing to be putting yourself out, on a daily basis, very much so, and not just staying comfortable at where you are every time, making yourself uncomfortable and asking for something, asking somebody to just listen to your show or asking somebody to buy something from you. It is exhausting. At the same time, that's what it is. That's what it is. And so you have to find some sort of enjoyment in that. I love listening to, say, Gary Vee's show, because he's like, dude, when the Jets win or something, because he's obsessed with the Jets, when the Jets win and they're no longer the underdogs, I'm going to feel kind of less akin to them. I'm just not going to feel it as much anymore, because they're no longer in that climb, in that hustle. And for him and for myself, listening to that goes, it always kind of reminds me that The hustle is there for a reason, and it's there to test you. And at the same time, if it wasn't scary, crazy, hard, everybody would do it, right? Everybody would do it. Everybody would do what you're doing. So there's a certain sort of romanticism, I think, that you kind of have to build for yourself when you're in this business, which is being a content creator and marketing and being transparent and building up a brand from nothing and trying to sell off of that brand equity. So yeah, I feel it. I feel the strain of giving of myself. And it hasn't even been that long, I would say, in the sort of fashion and the way that I've been doing it now. So I would say that this is only the beginning, and to just sort of pace myself. And for those of you who feel the same way, pace yourself and find the things and relish the things and cherish the things that you love within what you're doing, because that's the only way that you're going to see this through. You have to find some way of motivating yourself, and it's really important that you do, because nobody's going to do it for you. Okay. And I think that's kind of a great thing, because when you look back, you say, holy shit, man, I was like, I had 0 listeners. Now I have like X amount of listeners or whatever. I mean, I'm just really thankful for the growth of the YouTube channel that I've had over the past 2 months. It was like 150, and now it's almost close to 500 subscribers, and that means a lot to me. Like, that's nothing to all the YouTube people, but the fact that you look back and you say, I put out content, I gave my heart, I was authentic, I was genuine, I tried to offer as much value as I could, being in the position that I was in, and I look back and that's what it is. And no matter how anybody can scale that or descale it, I did that. And so that is something that you've got to do for yourself, Lab Rats. And I think when you do that, you'll find much more enjoyment and motivation and drive and just push and perseverance once again in what you do, and love what you do if you are a content creator like myself. So yeah, there's going to be ups and downs of this. Like, man, haven't I given everything? And look, if you feel like you've given everything, then that's a big sign. Perhaps that's a sign for you to pivot and to not do what you're doing and to change things up. I don't ever want you guys to feel chained to something just because you feel obligated. You should love it. You should love what you do, whatever that may be, whether that's in corporate or whether it's creating content or whether it's shooting weddings, whatever you're doing, there should be a sort of love there that keeps you going, not out of obligation. And although obligation makes you heroic in some sense and it makes you responsible, I think in the long run, you're doing yourself a disservice, So more and more, if you do it out of obligation and not out of love, it becomes more of a chore instead of a labor of love. So that's what I have to offer you guys for today on today's show. I hope you enjoyed that here on Throwback Thursday. As always, leave a like on this video if you did like it. And go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section stating, have you ever felt like you're like giving and giving and giving, and what did you do about it? I'd love to hear what you did about this feeling of giving and perhaps not getting the due that you want, right? So I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in there. Once again, my name is Megan, reminding you to get in the lab. We'll see ya. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end to watch this. I really appreciate it. I'm lucky to have you. So if you enjoyed this show, there are many, many others like it. And not to mention some exclusive stuff that I send to my select lab rats on my newsletter list. And you can join that list by visiting getinthelab.me/join to join up for free and to get all of these things that I'm talking about and to never miss a beat here on the Get in the Lab podcast. So once again, I thank you. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Peace.